Good morning from the countryside in Belgium. Welcome back to another video, and this morning I've run down to a local spot, which is a chapel, as you can see, and just over here a small sapling. Quite an interesting story behind this chapel. It used to be a very large oak that came down in a storm, and they replanted it. So the last few mornings I've had incredible sunrises here in Belgium, and I thought I'd come down and see what the morning would provide. Interestingly, there's a lot more mist and fog rolling off the fields than I expected, and well, you're going to hear some background traffic noise because actually there is a road. There's a working farm just over my right shoulder here. So I've got the camera set up, and I'll show you the first image that I'm going to take. So I'm shooting on the Fuji GFX50R. That's a mouthful of a camera to say, but yeah, it's medium format. I've got the 32-64mm lens, which is currently one of only two lenses that I own, so I'm a little bit limited. But let me just walk you through this composition. I'm kind of between, I'm probably about 40mm focal length. If I just go wide, you may not be able to see it, but actually there's a couple of distractions. Unfortunately, either side of this chapel, we have kind of like a road marker or road sign here and a road sign there. And I just actually want to eliminate that. So I've just kind of zoomed in a little bit, around about 40mm. So I've got my focal point on the main chapel itself, and I've got this nice cloud here that's picking up some color. The sun is actually going to rise just behind the chapel here. I think there's quite a lot of fog and cloud this morning, so it may not come up. Sometimes you get lucky, you might get a kind of a sunburst that comes through there, but I've underexposed by just about one stop because I want to just get this in silhouette, and with the Fuji's dynamic range I'll be able to lift a little bit of the shadow in Lightroom, but I actually want to get this color in the sky here. It was pink a little bit just before I started recording video. It was a nice color, so I got a couple of shots. Now the color's kind of not so great, but hopefully if the sun pops up we'll get a little bit more color. Now I've got my composition set up. I've actually lifted the ISO to 100. I've got my aperture at f14. This gives me a shutter speed of 20th of a second. I'm just going to make sure that I've got focus. I've got a 2-second timer to avoid any camera shake, and the image is done. So yeah, one of the farmers actually came with his tractor, and yeah, I do know the farm through a friend of mine who did a project with them a couple of years ago, and yeah, they've asked me for copies of the photos, so it's nice to have that local connection. And yeah, I'm now going to try and see if I can get a little bit of a sunburst through. So you can probably see now that actually the sun, or just there, is starting to come up, and it's very soft light right now. I only have one wide angle lens, so I can't really do much about that. Basically in the composition, I've just got to continue to take the shot as it is. It's very, very soft light, so it's not going to actually, I think at the moment, be strong enough to get a sunburst. When I did have a chat with the farmer, he did apologise, and I didn't realise, but he's going to work the field right behind the chapel, so it's going to be interesting. As he goes a little bit further away, I think I can probably get one more shot. But there is actually another shot that I can get to my right. I was hoping the sun would come up a little bit more because I need the sun a little bit higher in the sky to work that. So we'll see if that works. And yeah, I will basically take you for a wander down the road there and see if I can get one additional composition. So as the sun's coming up now, just here, there's more colour in the sky, and you can actually see the mist on the field more. So I've actually gone for a 1:1 format, a square format in camera, because I actually think it works very well like that. You've got this diagonal cloud here, you've got a layer of colour that's coming here, this sapling oak and the chapel, and a lot of cars coming through. But yeah, I think as the light comes up, that mist on the field is going to be accentuated in the image a little bit more, so it's looking very good. So as I am going to head down the road now, the sun has come up. I think there might be enough light to get the image that I'm looking for. Essential piece of photography equipment, an IKEA family high visibility vest. Yeah, not that I want to have any negative comments on Belgium drivers, but you do kind of take your life into your own hands when you walk down the road with a camera and a tripod. So yeah, this is a little bit tight fitting. I think it belonged to my daughter once upon a time, but it'll do the job. Just going to leave the car here. It'll be out of shot. You can see the chapel is just behind me there, and I'm going to head down the road that you've seen a lot of, or heard a lot of traffic. We're actually out in the countryside here, but Belgium's a very densely populated country, and as a result of that, no matter where you go, there's going to be a lot of traffic. So even though it's relatively early, I mean it's not even 9 a.m, there's still a lot of traffic passing here, and so I've got to be a little bit careful. But you're going to see as I kind of, maybe you see the chapel there. Just above my head. So the idea is I'm going to come down here and yeah, I'm going to come down here and just stop around about here. Yes, maybe a little bit further. And just check the trees overhead. There's a really gnarly tree up here on the right side, and I want to have that in my composition. So let's see if I can get something a little bit different. So the plan I have is I've got a very wide angle lens. It's 32 to 64 millimeter. F4 is very wide on a medium format camera, and I'm going to use the road as a leading line, and you can see the chapel here is extremely tiny in the frame. And then as the sun, I think the sun is going to pop up just here. I'm hoping I might get a sunburst here, and then I'm going to underexpose, and like that these trees will actually fill out the frame. Sorry, a lot of traffic coming, so apologies for the audio. They're actually going to fill out the frame and hopefully give a real sort of late autumnal, early winter feel to it. I just need the light to sort of start happening. So I'm going to get set up, because this is just to show you what I'm going for, and then I might do a vertical, because I think this tree here is very gnarly, and if I can get that in frame, it will look very, very cool. I've got my camera set up in vertical orientation, got the composition exactly how I wanted with that tree, and yeah, I'm just waiting a little bit. I'm going to take a shot now, because there's nice pastel colours in the sky, another car coming. And then once I've done that, I'll wait for the sun to come up and see if I get lucky there. So let's get this sorted. It's yeah, f13 ISO 100, 1/40th of a second. Just wait for the car to go. Yeah, got the image. Okay, so you can see the sun is just coming up here above my finger, and I'm now under real constraint because the battery's going on my vlogging camera, and if you look at my Fuji, the battery, it's a bit blurred. My apologies, let me get that in focus. My battery's quite low on the Fuji, so I only have one battery for my Fuji. And that will tell you that it's a relatively new camera, and I haven't yet bought everything I need to make it viable. So yeah, the sun, you can see the sun's just come up over this embankment here. I got my sunburst, so I'm happy with that. Battery on the Fuji is fading. It's quite a cold morning, so you know, cold affects batteries. But I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, I'd really appreciate if you could like the video, leave a comment and subscribe. Like that, you'll be notified of my next wildlife, landscape or nature video. So thanks for watching, and yeah, see you next time. Well, I hope you liked the video, but I thought I'd add a bonus because actually I went to that location the morning before I shot that video. The morning before was an incredible sunrise. That whole week we'd had some really good conditions here in Belgium for amazing sunrises, and I wasn't sure whether or not I could actually get to that location the day before. I was actually doing the school run, which coincides with the time of the actual sunrise, so I just on the off chance threw my camera bag in the car, and then after the school run I didn't think I was going to get there in time, but I decided to go for it. The sky was lighting up as I drove down there, and I got to the location. I was really scrambling, so I didn't get a chance to make the video on that day, and I decided to go back the day after and make the video. I got two completely different sets of conditions which made for two very different sets of images. So whilst I'm happy with the images that I took when I made the video, what I thought I would do in terms of adding on a bonus for this video is show you the images that I actually got from the morning before. The simplest composition of the church has more impact than the foggy image I took in the video. Here the light is much stronger, and by shooting at an aperture of f20 I've created that sunburst, which for me really makes the image. The cloud cover is also an important element of the composition, and I shot in a 7:6 format to give the image the balance it needs. Because the sun was stronger on this morning, the image from the road is again much stronger. The clouds make the sky more interesting, and by underexposing, the cloud detail still shows up through the silhouetted trees. The sunburst adds that drama of a morning sunrise, the road drawing the eye in and leading up to the main subject of the chapel. And the final image is probably my favourite. Landscape photography sometimes is better in portrait orientation. Here I minimise the principal subject and use the trees as a natural frame for that subject. That gnarly tree that I mentioned in the video, well, you can see it here on the top left of the frame. It really gives a winter mood. The cloud detail is incredible, and there's a real feel of winter warmth within this image. I do hope you have enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy the video and want to help support my channel, the best thing you can do is to like the video, leave a comment and subscribe. By doing so, you will be helping my small YouTube channel to grow. Many thanks for watching, and see you at the next one.